And I don't have the
Hello.
dongle. Hello.
Yo!
If anybody feels like there are tech issues, please let me know. Just give it a minute. We started a little early, so let everybody
We're
get
getting a little
in.
Gonzo and the white man overbite.
Should I sing?
If you'd like to. Hey, Danny.
And I would do anything.
Danny, sorry about your jet.
I think we might lose people that way.
You don't
so
want?
maybe
Okay,
we
all
should
right. Well,
stop that.
I thought that was a perfect introduction.
It is very much so. So, guess we'll go ahead. We'll get started. Few things up on the top.
Hello,
It talks
Jeremy.
up here about what I'm doing tonight, who I'm talking to. Down here, there is a QR code, and that will go to the YouTube channel that we're going to be talking about today. So, who you see in front of me is Three Men on the Record, a new podcast YouTube channel made up of three whatnot sellers. So I'm going to let them go ahead and introduce themselves to you. For those that don't know, my name is Stacy. I did a interview show for the first half of the year interviewing vinyl sellers called What You Want to Know Wednesday, kind of switching formats over to Talk About It Tuesday. So if you want to go ahead, Scott, and start.
Sure. Hi, everyone. I'm Scott, or Echo Waves on the Whatnot app, and it's good to be here. I'm coming to you from Charlestown, West Virginia, in the Panhandle of West Virginia by DC.
There's a panhandle.
There's two.
What's going on, y'all? Jake Weaver, a.k.a. Gonzo Shenanigans, or Shenanigans, however I always misspell my name for whatever reason. Also on the Whatnot platform with these two crazy cats and one lovely Best Coast music. I am coming straight to you from a lovely, balmy Round Rock, Texas, just outside of Austin. I salute you.
I guess that would be me next. I am Sean of Shot Crossing Vinyl. I'm the oldest one on Whatnot here, anyways. Scott's the oldest. So I've been on Whatnot selling vinyl for, I don't know, 3 years? Some people joke and call me the godfather of vinyl, which I think is hilarious. But yeah, I've been selling on vinyl here forever, and from the first state, Delaware. Originally from Massachusetts, so you're going to hear that accent come out every once in a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Gonzo will make fun of me. But that's the norm. That's how it usually goes.
Yeah.
Thanks, Janet.
Yeah.
So what is the general premise of what you're going to be doing on YouTube as Three Men on the Record?
Well, I think probably Jake and Sean are looking at me because I'm the one that called them and talked to them originally about it. I've always had a little bit of interest in getting involved in YouTube, mainly because I just have a passion for music, and I'm listening most of the time. As Sean so graciously pointed out, I'm going to be 60 this year, so for about 52 years, I've been a huge music fan, and music's a big part of my life. But I was thinking about doing that independently, but then we were in a show. It was one of Jake's show, and Sean was in there, and Jake was trying to sell a Steve Winwood record back in the High Life. And we just had this back and forth that was really entertaining. And as I gotten to know those guys, I said, well, I think we could be pretty informing and have a good time. And I really trusted these guys. So I think when you get in a arrangement with people, that's one of the most important things is it people you trust and have faith in. And so really what the show is about, I know everybody sees us selling vinyl, and they see a lot of us selling classic rock. Believe me, we're a little more than just classic rock and vinyl, but that's what we sell on Whatnot. So we wanted to promote the music and music culture, and we think Whatnot already has a great music and music culture. It's just not set up as a platform to let community really engage. So that's why we picked live events and, to have the chat, and we want to have both sellers and we've got some buyers lined up to be guest. It's 3 men on the record, but we're going to have a 4-seat most shows.
You're jumping ahead on the interview, Scott.
Well, I'm
Sure,
doing
yeah,
work for
reversing.
you.
Yeah.
Casey.
And I've always been blamed for that. My shows are more like a podcast, and so the national progression would to be an actual podcast, because I've always had that interaction with everyone, and the chatter is just as important as the selling the records for me.
I agree. And I had multiple people come in that were like, they're like, maybe you should do a podcast. I'm like, who the hell wants to listen to anything I say? Right. So I've always been more of a team oriented guy. I think that we all do better as a whole, as a group, communicating, spewing off ideas, good ones, bad ones, to one another, and just really engaging in communication, which I love.
So why you guys? What is so special about you that you can do this?
Go ahead, Scott. Start it off.
Well, I think we do know a fair amount about music, because it's been, for all three of us, it's been a big part of our life. So, do we know it all? No, but we know enough to be more than a little bit dangerous. And it's all about, we like that disagreement. I have phone calls with Jake, and we're disagreeing a lot about records, and that's fun to me, to have a discussion and hear what other people like. So I think I'm not worried about qualifications. I feel like, I know enough, and I think we can make it fun around that. The passion is what we all three share.
And I'm always learning, so there's still so much that I don't know, because my background was my parents listened to the Beatles, and that was it. So coming on here, I've learned a lot of new genres and new artists that I've never heard before. So I'm learning just as much as I know. I'm probably learning more than I know, but I pretend I know everything.
I want to go ahead on the record and just be honest with every single viewer here and tell you that I absolutely have zero clue what the hell I am doing and why I am a part of this group.
That's your second strike, Matt. One more and you're gone. That's strike 2.
Other than bringing, shenanigans, I guess you could say, to the platform. But I think the thing that I like to bring to the table is I like to bring energy. I'm very passionate about music. I am in no ways a know-it-all by any means, but I love the people. I love the dialogue, and I love listening to music. And like Sean said, there's a lot of genres since I've been a part of Whatnot as a buyer and as a seller, that I've kind of taken a chance and really open an ear to genres that maybe I never listened to in the past, and I'm finding that I love it. I enjoy it thoroughly.
So,
Jake knows more than he says. He knows a lot. It's amazing how much stuff he knows, artists I've never heard of, and so we all bring something different and different backgrounds of music that we like. I'm kind of curious what we're missing behind the scenes here.
What do you mean?
Right. I can't see anything other than
chat. Someone came in and tried to ruin the show. They're gone now.
I know who.
I have an idea.
So, what is each person's role for the show? Do you each have something separate that you do to prep or during the show, or do you guys all do the same thing?
Scott, we'll just go in order. Scott, go ahead. I'll follow you, bud.
Okay. Yeah, that's something we talked about early, and I know both Sean and Jake are still working, and they're trying to, have a vinyl business, and I'm retired and have a little more time. So I volunteered to kind of be the ringleader behind the scenes and the kind of the organized things, executive producer, putting the run of the show together, doing some of the research. And we have some meetings where we talk, but at the first meeting, I told Sean, Hey, Sean, you always strike me as like a DJ type guy, you know, when I go into a show. So I was like, you're the MC, so you'll see Sean is going to be the primary host of the podcast, and Jake is, in my mind, the entertainment. But I'll let them speak about what they think their role is.
Yeah, I mean, what I want to be able to bring is, I think humor is one of the world's greatest solvents, right? And energy, so, and then also just whatever knowledge, little knowledge that I do have in this massive forehead, to be with the guys more or less. I've always kind of seen myself, of the three of us as kind of like, the third wheel, if you will. I've always called Scott, I always call him the general. We have very similar tastes in music, which is really what kind of bonded Scott and I, was the fact that we were convinced we had the same collection of records. And, Sean and I bonded just for me when I was a buyer starting out in his show a lot, and he had just a store full of items that I loved. I loved his content. It was different at the time when I had come on, because a lot of sellers were just kind of, using the simple format of having a camera put up against a wall showing a record. But what I really enjoyed about, Sean's show was I liked the engagement aspect of it. And so I reached out to him quite a bit. And then we really became close as he got frustrated helping me learn OBS, I think. Or he learned to hate me more.
No, I never.
Trust
And
me, I've
your
had to try
your
and help
setup
Shark.
is
I
cool.
understand what you mean.
Yeah.
And you got your setup perfect, Gonzo, too. I like the way you got yours set up.
But it's improved. Look, it's improved a lot. But like I told you from the get-go, I am probably one of the most technical, illiterate individuals known to man, and I have no problem raising my hand and saying that. So, but
And I agree.
Keep it simple, stupid, and that's kind of really how I wanted to have the show. As long as the sound is good.
I will say before you go to Sean, Jake is way more knowledgeable about music than he lets on. He knows a lot about music.
No, you definitely do. No more than I do, that's for sure. But I'm always learning. What was the question?
What I love about Scott. Scott, I mean, obviously, a child of the '70s. His knowledge on '80s music is mind-blowing. I was a child of the '80s, right? So the '90s were really a big, '90s music was really a big genre for me, coming into my teenage years, into my 20s.
And for me, it was the Beatles, but then '80s MTV, 84 through 90. And then I kind of got away from music a little bit. And then Jake fills in that spot there. And Scott is a little bit older. He can before me a little bit. And during the time I was listening to stuff. But music is a great way to bring people together. That's why it's at parties, and we all enjoy listening to music, and it brings us back to moments in our lives. Certain songs just bring you back. Like Gonzo keeps playing Patience, and I keep telling him to stop, but he's doing it on purpose. But it brings you back to a specific moment in time. So people really love music because it's such a part of everyone's life, and in celebrations of life, there's music, and just music is fantastic, I guess I would say.
So I do want to read something that someone put in the chat, because I know you don't all have the chat on. So Jeffrey Bamberger said, as an individual collector who buys only for my personal collection and doesn't resell, to be able to trust folks like you makes buying such a treat. It's a very nice compliment, Jeffrey.
Thank
you. Big hug to you, Jeff. Appreciate you, brother.
Yeah. I think Jeff has bought from all of us, and we appreciate that. That's another thing. I think we have a lot of similarity in the way we approach whatnot too. We kind of agree with that.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, Jenna. So explain a little bit what you mean about music culture, not just vinyl.
Well, I think that was one of the things we talked about earlier because it's broader, right? Like there's a bunch of people, it's really about the love of music. So there's a bunch of people that love music that stream. I think I have subscriptions to 5 streaming services. I run a Rune server in my house. So I am pro streaming. I am pro CD. I think I have like 6,000 CDs. And I love vinyl. So, when we were looking at community, we wanted to be as broad as it could be. And just because somebody doesn't collect vinyl, well, that's only a piece of what we're after. We're after everybody that loves music. And they might not love the music we love. And not every channel on the TV is everybody's thing. But we think there's a lot of people out there that we can have that community around, the things we like and us discover. And we've all mentioned that, like we've found artists because we're involved in Whatnot community, and maybe we can help people find, like, there's a couple albums that we all push, that they're not uber popular, they're not Nirvana, never mind, but if you buy it and you get it, you will enjoy it. So it's that kind of experience, the love of music and how music fits into your previous life and your current life.
I agree with that. That was one of the big reasons why I got into this anyway, is, I felt like for so many years, my musical journey was always very self-oriented in a way. Like I would get up, I would go to the record store, I would look for CDs. I would, I never really, when I was in high school, my buddies and I would get together and we'd listen to music here or there. But as I got out of high school, out of college, it just really kind of became more of a more, set towards just myself than anything. And I think finally when I really started getting back into it about 10, 15 years ago, I always wanted to find a community where, I didn't feel like I was just the only person. I wanted to be a part of something broader than just self. And I think a lot of that just comes back from, my prior, my past life, if you will, as a former artist. I was always focused, on self for a career. And I think I wanted something more than that. I wanted to engage in communication with other people that shared similar opinions, others that, liked different types of music that I probably would never open up and listen to. And since I've been a part of Whatnot, I have, opened my ears to a lot. And I can tell you, I've been thoroughly impressed and have so much appreciation and respect for a lot of the sellers that I met during my journey coming in as a buyer at first prior to selling stuff. So I've been able to grow and have met some amazing people. And I think that's really why I agreed to be a part of this with Scott and Sean, was because of what I got, the positive vibes I got from this platform. I felt, we should expand this and get more people involved and talk more rather than just one guy or one woman, in a show. We can have multiple people in and just roll,
I think I know a seller who has a show like that with 2 people and banter off each other.
There you go. Yeah.
There you go. Jet stream.
Isn't that usually
and with forming culture too? It's not just with the formula culture. Maybe like we've created a Discord. Hopefully, we can start to utilize that better and get not just us interacting, but other music lovers, or even just maybe they like our channel and just interact and talk. And Discord kind of will allow that. There'll be different categories. Maybe you'll introduce a new artist to us through there. Maybe you do your now playing and be like, what is that record? And then maybe we'll get, but through all these extra things we're doing with the Discord, the Instagram, and then also having guest hosts come on the show. Because everyone's an expert on something, whether, and there's so much knowledge out there in our listeners. Maybe the best, maybe someone knows everything about John Prine. I know the person that probably knows that. Could have him come on one day in the show. If someone is a big fan of pretty much anything, and they want to introduce it to us, we can talk to them about it. I know Echo was talking about, I forget the name of, but Australian music. Was it Gurus?
Gurus, yeah.
Having him come on so bringing in some of our buyers coming in and participating in the shows.
Yeah,
is something we're kind of looking at.
Definitely would like to get Rush Records as well. I'd like to get Chris Patterson involved at some point, because he's one as well that just very eclectic taste. And what I love about his show is that he's got a little bit of everything. And whether it's prog, jazz, classical, he's one of the few sellers that really takes the time to show classical music, and he's just extremely knowledgeable, and he's given me a lot of insight on stuff and told me to go and listen to X amount of records, which I've done. And so again, it's fun being able to get those sellers in and hear about their journey and kind of the things that they like.
Totally. 1,000 records a year. There was a question.
1,000 records a year.
What do you
mean, Nick?
Say what?
Nikki wrote 1,000 records a year? Question mark.
I don't know what he means.
You referenced Chris, Rush Records, and I know that you have met him in person. Have you three met in person, or is there a plan to?
There's a plan, yeah.
Yeah, none of us have met in person yet. I mean,
Oh.
Scott's on the East Coast, so that's a little easier. We can meet somewhere in the middle, Baltimore, Washington, somewhere. We are planning on that at some point. And of course, when we go down to the convention in Austin, that's when we'll find Jake. Unless Oasis is playing nearby.
If work doesn't keep me away, I try to get out and meet the boys if I can.
Yeah. So I'll be coming down to Austin for the convention. So Jake and I do plan to get together in October, and before winter hits in the Mid-Atlantic in the Northeast here, I'm going to hook up with Shark and maybe go digging or something together. So there is plans for that.
Now, the shows that you're going to be doing on YouTube, is it always going to be the three of you, or will you do them separately?
Well, the plan is that kind of like think about it like it as a mall. Like the anchor store is the Thursday night show, right? But we all do plan on doing videos, and we may do individual live events where we have somebody come in and may join us, or they might be there will be canned videos. Like I've been scripting a pretty elaborate video on record cleaning. That'll be something. Thursday night, though, people will hear about the top 5, and that's something I'm going to be doing. We have a part of it in the show, but I'm going to be doing a lot of standalone, on the show, we're going to talk about the top 5 Van Halen albums from all eras. So stuff like that, I plan on doing by myself, and I'll let the other guys. I think they have some plans too for standalone stuff.
Yeah. So the Nikki was talking about. There's an Instagram account with a girl that listens to 1,000 records a year, and I think we all kind of exceed that with test playing and with the test playing.
Yeah.
But who knows? Well, there's all kinds of different things that we're going to be doing, whether it's top 10 soundtracks or there's so many different things that we're going to kind of explore.
Oh yeah, soundtracks. I think albums with the best intros. To an album. A lot of ideas that we've kind of been throwing around to kind of keep it exciting and keep everyone kind of engaged.
Well,
and you guys on our Instagram or more on our Discord, you guys can suggest some topics of albums that we need to kind of look at. So that's why we're kind of looking for everyone else's input also. We're going to be doing the top 500 over a period of time. And maybe there's an album that you guys that that you think should be in the top 500.
Very
maybe
well.
we don't know about it. Maybe we don't know
Discuss
about
that.
it. You know, Pink Floyd, you know, is going to be there. You know what's going to be there. It's not necessarily the actual best, but it's things that we think you should be listening to. And there's probably a bunch of stuff we haven't even thought of yet, or maybe we don't even know it yet. Maybe someone will suggest an album that we don't know, and then we listen to it going, "Oh my God, how have we not heard this album?"
Yeah,
like that Gonzo album. What is it? The Replacements, The Renters. What is it?
it is the Rentals, Return of the Rentals. Okay, it turned 30 years old this year. It is a banger of an album. For those of you that are here, listen to it. It is Matt Sharp. He is the bassist and co-founder of Weezer. It was a side project. He later left the band, I think, in like 1998, not long after Pinkerton.
See how adamant he was about it?
Don't waste your time, people. But
it has Maya Rudolph is on it.
It is a good record. Listen,
Maya Rudolph was a member of the band.
Nikki would probably back me on that. If Nikki's in here, Nikki, give the Rentals.
That thing was huge in '96.
Say what?
He said they were huge in '96.
Thank you.
But they didn't go to 97 or 95. So.
Well, the Return of the Rentals, their first album was their biggest. They had a second album, I think, in '99 that didn't fare well. Then they kind of vanished for a while. And I think Matt Sharp periodically kind of comes back with different lineups. Some people don't realize this, but Maya Rudolph was actually a part of the Rentals. She was more on the touring side as a band member, and I think she was actually in one of the music videos as well. So
yes, I watched. I gave them a chance, and I don't think they're awful. I just don't think they're polished enough to be. That's all.
So that's kind of a good segue for the next question, which is for everyone who's seen what you guys sell on your shows, there is a general genre that is mostly seen. How do you plan to cover genres that maybe you aren't as familiar with?
Just dive in. Just dive into it, you know. I've never been very knowledgeable when it comes to jazz. I know obviously your basics: Coltrane, Miles Davis, Roland Kirk. But I never listened to it growing up much. Like Sean, the first band I came to growing up as a kid when I was 9 years old, the first album I ever bought was the Beatles' 1967 and 1970. It was the first piece of music I ever bought. A diehard Beatles fan, still am. But the Beatles, Pink Floyd, Led Zeppelin, The Who, that was kind of where I went. And I never listened to jazz. But definitely getting more into it now. But I would say you just dive into it.
Yeah, and I think people are going to be surprised a little bit. Like, I think you get pigeonholed because of what you sell, and what you sell isn't necessarily what you know. Like, my favorite era of music is post-grunge 90s alternative.
Same.
So, I don't sell that because it's only sealed, and, I don't like to mess with the first press, OG stuff in that 90s era. So, we're open to everything, but, the question I think we got to ask ourselves, and we just had this conversation, is, first of all, we have a plan. Right. But we're going to be adaptable, right? Like, we're going to see how the audience is reacting. What does the audience, the people that come every week, what do they want from us? And I don't think you have to be all things to everyone, but if somebody recommends the album, I will listen to it. I listened to Baby Metal the other day. I see some of the appeal. I listened to Bee Gees because Jake was trying to get main course or main event or something on the 500.
Main course, Scott.
No, it two good songs, and two really good songs too. Anyway, so we're very open, but that's something we've talked about. We have a plan going into this, and we'll see where do people want to go. I mean, if you try to serve everybody, maybe you're not serving anybody very well. But don't think it's all classic rock, because I think you'll find out. We buy and listen to other stuff. I have. Back here, Stacy, all the Taylor Swift albums are on the shelf right back here. So
I'm missing
4. And Noah Kahn. And so
thank you for the raid, Groove Records.
Yeah. Thank you, Groove.
Green.
Now, also keep in mind too is we have a tendency to chat about it, and we kind of get sidetracked. So some shows you never know where we're going to end up going, and it might not always be vinyl. It could be movies, or Gonzo loves the movie quotes. He can remember way too many movie quotes.
I'm kind of weird like that. It's a useless talent that I wish would have, made millions, but unfortunately it's nothing. And I would say movies probably from the 50s and 60s through probably the 90s, early 2000s. I could probably tell you the year it came out, give or take a year before, a year after. And I'm pretty good with a lot of the Academy Award nominees and winners.
Yes, you get a little bit of everything on our stream. You aren't just going to get straight music all the time. There's going to be some other, things intertwined. It just happens. And I got Gonzo here. You know what Gonzo's sidetrack can easily sidetrack us.
Big time. That's why I'm here.
The Old Ladies Attic. Yes, you can sell in the vinyl category if you've never been in there before. It's not a gated category. So tell me what the show on Thursday is going to be about, or give us a little bit of information or what we can expect.
Okay, well, we're gonna, basically cover some of the same stuff we hear. What's the objective of the show? What's the purpose? And we'll talk a little bit about that. Introduce ourselves. Then we're gonna one of the primary segments each week, at least for half a year, is going to be the 500. And we're not saying it's the top 500. We're not saying we're not going to rank them. It's as if somebody came to you and said, if somebody wanted to start from scratch, they didn't know anything about music, what would be the 500 albums that us collectively we would give them?
The Rentals, Return of the Rentals.
Yeah, probably not that one. But then we have a segment on, we're going to introduce this thing called Playlist Perfection. And we didn't mention, but we have a Spotify account, 3 Men on the Record. And there's already 50 some playlists out there, artist focused. And on the show, we're going to do more theme-centric type shows. But we're going to introduce it, give everybody a week to kind of come back at us. And then we're going to say, okay, here's the final 3 Men on the Record themed playlist for the week. And that's a segment. There's the top 5 this week. I will say we're going to reveal I'm going to pick, and the way we're going to do this is each week, one of us is going to lead that. So this week I'm leading top 5 Van Halen albums. It's my opinion. It's not in consultation with Shark or Jake. And I am sure they will have some constructive feedback for me. And that should be entertaining. And then we have a Q&A. So each show, and I might have left something out. Sean might be looking at it, but we're leaving open 20-minute Q&A to finish the show. Did I get it all, guys?
I think so.
Like a glove.
So it's 24. You're going to get 24 albums this week.
I have my list of the ones I'm going to show.
I can't hear Stacy.
Yeah, we lost her voice.
Stacy, we lost you.
I was muted. Sorry.
There you are.
So I do want to ask each of you some questions about yourself. Not a full, interview like what you want on a Wednesday, but just a little bit so people can get to know you. So if each of you would answer, what is a genre that you have in your collection, like a large part of your collection that you think people would be surprised to know that you own?
Jazz for me. I have 100 jazz records.
I have a very large Japanese city pop, J-pop collection, at least 100. And Tony Bennett, I have at least 100 Tony Bennett records. Which
I'd like to say
I'm a huge fan of Andrea Bocelli.
I probably have the largest Jane Fonda workout collection that anyone has ever seen, and I have worked out to the record. Just saying.
Of course you have. Did you wear leg warmers?
No, but
can you next time?
But I think Dev did. I don't know if there's a photo that exists, but I think Dev did have warmers on. And I almost got Bruce. Bruce said he would do it, but I think I have to go to Jersey to do the workout with him in costume. And I gave him my word it would happen at some point. So it will be done. It will happen. I will get Vinyl King 69 to do a Jane Fonda workout in his store. It will happen.
Okay, can't wait for that.
Can't wait for it, yeah. So what is an artist then that you listen to often that you think also people would be surprised to hear?
Well, mine's no surprise. Everyone knows I'm the Jimmy Buffett guy. But there's no surprise on that.
So you need to pick an artist that you listen to that people would be surprised about.
Andrea Bocelli.
Scotty?
Lana Del Rey.
I have a few, but I'm going to stick with my man Duncan Sheik.
I think that was the same answer you said when I did your
interview. Yeah, we already knew that one.
Yeah.
We already know that answer.
He's my okay. You want me to come up with another go-to? If we've used Duncan once,
Jamiroquai.
I love Jamiroquai.
Michael Bolton.
Love Jamiroquai. And nobody bringing the funk like Jamiroquai does. I just wish I could move like that.
Okay, so we've already kind of talked a little bit about what genres you're going to be talking about. Are you guys going to be doing reviews of albums, like live listens, those sorts of things?
Well, because of copyright, because we're going to be on
right, you're going to be on YouTube.
We can't really do because of copyright, but we do have a Zoom server, and then of course there's Discord. But we are thinking about like doing something like a listen party through Zoom, and you get invite, we'll come in. We'd love to do that, but we don't want to get copyright strikes right out of the gate. So no, not initially.
So can you each tell me a little bit about what you do on Whatnot, what kind of shows you run, what kind of stuff that you sell?
Somebody else go first.
I think everybody knows, for the most part, I generally sell a lot of Japanese press stuff, 60s, 70s, 80s Japanese records. Scott and I both kind of share I think the same love for that, just because of the sheer quality and the sound of the vinyl itself. And of course, I'm a old school rock and roll guy, so I do have a lot of 60s, 70s through 90s, early 2000s rock and roll also. Not a lot of 45s. Never was a big 45 guy. Only if I had a nice jukebox, then I would.
Well, you're a little too young for the 45s. It's before your time.
So basically, you're acknowledging your elderly status.
Well, when you went to the store, could you find 45s when you went to the store? Like if you went to the mall?
So the first record store that I went to had them, but not a lot. And I always knew of them as just jukebox stuffers as a kid. But never played 45 growing up.
I'm on every Sunday morning for what, 2 years or more now. And the stuff I typically sell is probably 70s, 80s, and kind of anything weird. If I can find something weird, I'm buying it. Because you never know what people are looking for. I mean, like weird stuff. Like if I see this, I'm going to pick it up. There's no way I'm not. And because people are into all different stuff, and you never know what you're going to find in my shows. You never know.
Yeah, and I would say probably 70% of what I do is Japanese press, classic rock. Then probably another 10% US used, maybe 20%, and then the rest sealed. I usually have a pretty good collection of sealed records in there. But Nikki was saying, listen to 1,000 albums, and Sean goes, yeah, the problem is we listen to the same one hundreds. Like, I've sold Best of Blondie so many times. I love Blondie, but I do not want to listen to that record anymore. But we do test play our stuff before the shows. So.
Yeah.
So you never know what I'm going to find. Signed Lou Reed. You never know what I find.
You do have a very eclectic selection sometimes, Sean. You just have things that pop up out of nowhere that I don't know where they come from. They're not on point. And then all of a sudden, you just pull something out of a hat.
Yeah, and I got a record from you that I didn't even know what I got. I just pre-bid on Mystery Vinyl.
You weren't even there.
No.
I don't remember what it was, so mystery. So tell me a little bit about what you guys have been doing on Wednesday nights.
Well, what we're trying to do on Wednesday night, I don't think we've got this perfected yet, but we try to focus. I focus on Japanese, and so we con Sean into starting to sell some Japanese stuff. So we're starting at 6:30 East Coast time. I go on for a couple hours. Sean comes on for like an hour and 15, 20 minutes, and then by that time Jake is home from work, and Jake usually runs a show after that. And we're not only selling Japanese, but on Wednesdays we do try to make Japanese press to kind of our focus there. And
Terry said we're making them go broke.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, well, Terry, you're the one that clicks the button. But we do have some overlap with some of the customers, so I think some folks enjoy it.
I think it's nice to have you guys
now I'm just waiting
go
for
in a row instead of be on at the same time. You don't have to choose.
Yeah. I have a bunch of Japanese coming. It's been held hostage for several days over tariffs. A tariff war with DHL. And
it's horrible.
I do have a Beastie Boys License to Ill Japanese press coming that supposedly is excellent, which I'm excited to get, but I'm just waiting now. And fighting DHL because they don't know the rules.
So I do want to open the chat to Q&A. Yeah, they're not supposed to apply.
But DHL does not know that yet.
DHL didn't know that apparently. So I'll open it up to questions in the chat. What time is your Thursday night live YouTube streams going to be?
8 o'clock Eastern, 7 Central, 6 Mountain, 5 Pacific.
Best Coast time.
East Coast time. Yes, time.
Yeah, we're on your show, Tracy, so we'll be polite and say yes. Best Coast.
Yes, exactly. Best Coast.
How are you collecting something that there is no set amount to collect?
Exactly, Nikki. The whole thing is screwed up. Now, I think FedEx is not the problem. FedEx has seemed to, I think, have figured it out. It's really DHL that's been the
because they think vinyl had duties on it before for 15%, but no additional duties. But that's not the case. Believe me, I'm going back and forth with DHL right now. I get so many emails.
Yeah.
We've
reached out to DHL. I think Scott sent a damn dissertation.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, well, my former career was as a federal employee, so I'm very steeped in federal law and regulation. Not exactly regulation around this, but I did my research, and so we're reaching out to DHL. They have a misinterpretation of the law. They think the 15% Japanese tariff applies to everything, whether it's exempt or not, and they don't understand the exemption comes from the law. An executive order cannot override the law. So vinyl, CDs, informational media has always been exempted. So it's just a matter of, I tried to suggest to customer service in this very lengthy email to bump this to their legal and management teams to let them know that there might be a misinterpretation. So hopefully we get it solved here in a week or two.
I hope.
Yeah, it's very frustrating.
Yeah, because we got, I think myself, Scott, Retro Retreat. I know we all got shipments right as tariffs went into effect. I had a shipment coming in through FedEx, and I was not affected.
Now, if you guys want to contact DHL, it's DUTY_disputes@DHL.com. Feel free to voice your opinion on why vinyl is not tariffed. My friend Gene that deals with the customs on DHL will love that. So duty_disputes@DHL.com. Send all the emails you want.
Everybody from Whatnot should just ban.
Everybody just tell them no.
Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate because we're trying to make sure if we get tariffs, then Japanese vinyl increases, and the price of Japanese vinyl does not need to increase. So
Agreed.
We have all, like, we've paid tariffs not accidentally, but unjustly, I should say. We've paid tariffs just to keep the records flowing, but we have slowed down acquisition to try to get it sorted. So hopefully it's only a little week or two bump, and maybe DHL will call FedEx and learn how to actually do it, because FedEx, we're not getting tariffs. DHL, we are getting tariffs. So
thank you.
That's a lot of detail. Yeah.
Thank you.
Welcome in, everybody. Right now, tonight, I'm doing an interview with 3 sellers that are starting a YouTube podcast that will be Thursday nights at 8 Eastern. So I've just kind of been going through what it's about. Since we just got a bunch of people, why don't you just give a quick overview again of what you guys are going to be doing on the podcast for all the new folks?
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Stacy. Join us Thursday night at 8 o'clock. We're going to be premiering our podcast, and the podcast is really centered around the love of music and music culture. And we're going to talk vinyl, we're going to talk CDs, but in general, we're going to talk about music and how it fits in your life, and the stuff you're passionate about, the stuff we're passionate about. And hopefully there's some discovery going both ways. And we're really hoping for a lot of engagement in the community across the various social media platforms and communication platforms we're using. And, just join in. We're going to recommend 500 albums over the next 6 months, and we're doing it slowly because we actually want the community engagement to say, hey, if you don't know about this album, go listen. It might make the list. So doing that, and it'll all just be music, the love of music centric type content coming from us.
When is Taylor releasing the signed version of the Life of a Showgirl?
If I knew, I'd tell you, but she does whatever.
I'm holding you to that.
So,
although I do get my Swiftie alerts. So.
Yeah. I'll tell you right after I buy it, because I won't have time to tell you before. So again, if anybody in the chat has some questions for Sean, Scott, or Jake, go ahead and put them in the chat. I'm not going to go through everything else we've asked, but again, the show, the first one is going to be on Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern. You can move the chat over, screenshot, and then hold your finger down on that QR code, and it will bring you to their YouTube channel, so you can go subscribe and see what they're doing. They also have a Discord channel and an Instagram, so if you want to be on the Discord channel, who's the best person to message?
Not me.
Well, not him.
Jake.
Yeah, not him. And we'll share it in our shows. We're going to be sharing it in our shows. Definitely tomorrow we'll have the links available, because tomorrow's Wednesday. And we'll share those with you guys there.
Yeah, so tomorrow starting at 6:30 Eastern, right?
Yes.
Yep. So tomorrow starting at 6:30 Eastern, you can watch these guys do their own little mini 3 Men on the Record train.
Yeah, exactly, and we'll all have it in our show notes, all the social media platforms and YouTube stuff.
IHOP, it'll be permanently on YouTube.
Yeah, and if you didn't catch this full show, we're live on YouTube right now too, so you can watch the full thing on YouTube at my YouTube channel, which is the same name as my profile, Best Coast Music 531.
Thank you, Stacy.
Yep. Anything else that you guys want to add about what you're doing or yourself before we find somebody to raid?
Well, I think we just want to thank you, Stacy, for the invite
Yeah,
to
thank
be
you
able to
very
come
much.
on and do this right before we go live. That means a lot to us. So thank you, Stacy.
You're welcome. Yeah, I mean, I was excited to have you guys on. I think what you're doing is going to be fun. And I think that there's going to be a lot of people who will be interested in what you have to say and hopefully engaging. I know the Discord already has a little bit of engagement, so that's exciting for you guys. So yeah, I wish you guys the best and thank you guys for being on here. Gonzo, will Gonzo's emojis make their way to the podcast?
I don't know if they'll work on that platform or not, but I may have some type of sticker on the forehead going.
The only thing we've banned so far is the mankini. That cannot come out.
Listen, that was an idea I threw out there. I mean, if it's mankini time, I'm all in.
Yeah, and if you guys have any suggestions on, because we're going to be doing other content that we're going to record and put on there. Like Scott's going to be doing the cleaning the records. I think Gonzo was going to do how not to clean records, I believe.
No, I was going to do a video on how to properly clean records, not Scott's way.
The Gonzo way.
The Gonzo way.
Nikki would like to know, Gonzo, why is Ian Brown way cooler than Liam Gallagher?
No one is cooler than Liam Gallagher. Look, I still, to this day, some may agree, some may disagree. I feel that Liam Gallagher is the last true greatest rock star on this earth. The last true great. There are some great frontmen that are out there now, but as far as a true rock star, I think it ends with Liam.
You stand on that soapbox.
Yeah. Yes. I mean, yeah. If any of you were able to have seen Oasis perform at the Rose Bowl, I think September 7th, I was one of 80,000+, and every single human being that was there from start to finish never sat down. Everyone either stood in awe, just blank stares, amazed, people crying, people hugging, people singing every song.
I'm guessing you were one of the criers.
Yeah,
I did not. No. Now I will say this: I did not cry. It was emotional. I mean, I can't explain the feeling that I felt being there. It was surreal for
Rush
me.
is here, just so you know.
My best friend next to me, when they came out, because they did 2 encores. Noel came out saying, he did "Don't Look Back in Anger," and my buddy next to me bawled, and he just was like, I can't believe, I don't know how the hell we got here, and the 3 of us are here. My 3 buddies, the guy next to me is the one who got me into Oasis. But Paul McCartney was there. He never sat down. He stood the entire show. I mean, I've never experienced 80,000 people singing. It was beautiful.
I went to this thing called the Eras Tour, and people did that. And Liam was on 3.5 hours.
Yeah, I think,
But I understand the experience you're talking about. It is like an amazing experience to be in a place with 74,000 people all singing the same thing and experiencing the same thing.
You're all in unison.
Yeah.
You're all connected. And I think that's what's beautiful about that whole experience is every single person, regardless of, religious beliefs, political beliefs, whatever you are that makes you who you are. When you're in that type of environment and everyone drops all of that, puts all of that aside, and everyone is on that same frequency, it's the most unbelievable feeling. Yeah. Like who couldn't get emotional of something like that?
So there's a few comments. First of all, Chris, Rush Records is here. Then Nikki said, the real Paul or Billy Sherwood?
It was definitely the real Paul, but.
And then Janet commented that that's what it was like seeing Billy Joel at Madison Square Garden. Oh, there, you can see the chat now. Okay.
It was the real Paul, Nikki. The real Paul was there. But it's also in Pasadena, so all the celebrities were there. I mean, they were posting stuff while we were there.
Well, there's also rumors that him and Paul, that Oasis and Paul are working on something.
I've heard that. Whether it's true or not, I don't know.
I'll text Paul and ask him.
I think that's what exactly it captures the spirit of what we're talking about in the podcast, right? Like whether it's the Eras tour or it's the Oasis concert, there's certain emotions you have around these events, and like when you're at a concert, you're not wishing you were anyplace else. And I've been to well over probably somewhere around 125 to 150 concerts, and they're all amazing and they're all great times. And so
Paul texts me all the time.
Yeah, that's not actually coming from Paul. Sharp. So.
Don't ruin it for me.
Jake,
Janet,
I have a
love
question about your Oasis experience. Did you get concert amnesia?
No. It's pretty vivid. Like it's been what now? Almost a couple of weeks, and one of my other buddies that was with me, we talk every day, and he's like, I can't shake off that experience. Like we all got so high off the experience. The next morning we're at the airport going back home, and we are miserable because we didn't like. I was 16 again. I think that's what was so great about it. I was a 16-year-old, horrible hairdo, teen, listening to Slide Away for the first time in my buddy's Toyota Tacoma.
So, Janet, we will be probably talking about the Anthology 4 this week, probably. We'll probably talk about that. Because Anthology 4 is now going to be released separately. So you can buy Anthology 4. Pre-orders are in.
Online for like $95.
Yeah, I think it's 75, but
that's even better.
So if those of you who are into the Beatles, they're taking pre-orders now for that.
I will get that. I will be on that pre-order list.
Because I didn't want to buy the whole thing.
Nor did I.
Chris said Weird Al had 40 plus costume changes. How many did Oasis have?
Noel changed parkas, I think twice.
How many did Taylor?
Maybe 3 times. Maybe 3 changes.
I would have to count a lot.
Yeah, I'd have to go into my Swifty alert thing and see if I have.
But Noel threw multiple tambourines out. The tambourines were just getting thrown out like candy.
I would just ask Chris. Chris, is that an important part of a concert? Costume changes?
Well, Weird Al needs them because he's.
Don, it's on YouTube. We're streaming live on YouTube too, so you can go to YouTube and find the Best Coast Music channel, and you can watch the whole thing back.
I'm looking at Nikki's comment again.
You're not.
Oh gosh. Well, from what Rush Records said, he was like, it was a great experience. He's like, I have no idea how the man changed costumes so quickly, but he did say it was one of the best concerts he's been to. I would have just gone there just for the polka, just for him playing the damn accordion.
I don't know. I watched a live concert
polka,
on YouTube of Weird Al and wasn't impressed.
But that's why something like this podcast is good, because you guys aren't always going to agree. And so you'll be able to talk about different things and bounce them off each other and have that conversation. And I think having different views is healthy and will help educate people.
Oh, it'll be great. It's going to be great.
Fun. It'll be a lot of fun. I can't wait.
I'm the village idiot, right? So I welcome it.
If we ever agree, it will be a miracle.
Yeah, it will be.
But it doesn't. If we all agree, it doesn't make for great.
It's part of the fun, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay, so this is going to be a last call for questions. Oh, Nikki says you guys need to give Rentals another listen.
Thank you, dude. Thank you, Nikki.
in my defense, Jake gave it to me, right? And I listen to these things these guys
I
recommend.
listened to the entire thing. It wasn't that it was bad. I don't want to say it was bad.
Backtracking right now.
It was
yeah,
like,
walking back to statements.
To me, no, I never said it was bad.
You gave it a thumbs down, to be fair.
It's like one record away from being awesome.
Thumbs down was because
everything Nikki. Okay, we're bringing Nikki in one of these shows just so I've got a compadre to agree. He is all with me on the rentals. Precisely what I said. It's the Moogs, baby. It is the Moogs.
No, Jake, my comment, I listened to that record and I didn't do any research on the band. I just listened to the record. I said, this sounds like Weezer, and don't you think Weezer did it better? I didn't have any idea that the bass player.
I kind of did the same thing too.
No, because you had Pat. So you had Matt Sharp, you had the bass player, you had their bassist and their drummer, right? But there wasn't a lot of Moog. That's really what was different to Matt Sharp's side project, was bringing in Petra and the girls, and having them in with the Moogs. It was a different sound. Yeah, you can get a little bit of the influence because he co-wrote a lot of the songs with Rivers Cuomo's for Weezer. So you do feel the presence there because he was a part of the band. But it is different.
So isn't the Weezer the more perfected album? I think Weezer is the next level, the more perfected version of the Rentals. Is that what it is?
Yes, the Rentals. So Blue Album, 94. The Rentals, Return of the Rentals, 95. Hitting year 30. Boom! Somebody's got to find that unofficial, because they did press it. It was an unofficial pressing, and I think it's pretty damn expensive, but I'd love to find it on wax.
Okay.
And if I had it, I'd give it to everybody for free, just so you could listen to it and agree with me and just thumbs down on Scott and Sean.
Okay, so if you guys would like to pick someone to raid, if you want to look who's on and see, you guys can pick who we go to.
Pressure's on.
Bye, Chris. Thank you guys all for being here.
Pete's on.
Thanks for having us.
I can't raid Pete. He has me blocked.
Okay.
The Rentals, Return of the Rentals. Let's just go ahead and say that one other time. Give it a listen. The Rentals, Return of the Rentals.
It's not the first time that's happened, Scott, so don't it's fine.
I mean, we don't really have any other.
Is Nikki on? I'm just going to say raid Nikki,
No,
just
Nikki's
for the
not
fact
on.
that I've got a
that Dan
compadre.
Reynolds record or whatever. So, no, Nikki's not on.
No.
I don't
The
know.
only one
We
I
don't
really
have
know
to
is,
raid anybody.
is Mike.
Yeah, VC Vinyl's the only other one that I know too.
Sure, why not?
Nikki's playing the move right now.
Okay. To the three of you guys, thank you very much for being on. I appreciate you guys giving me the time to interview you and do the setup and all the prep and everything. And to everybody who was here, thank you very much as well.
Yep. Thanks, everyone.
So we're going to go ahead and raid. See you guys next time. Bye.